Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Simha Sadasiva. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ushr. I think there were some questions that came up and discussions about hyperautomation. So in our world, hyperautomation, this is a term that's typically coined by the analysts, right? It covers a broad area of business processes, workflow automation, and customer engagement automation. So Ushr is a company that's focused on customer-focused automation. So you can look at this as some segment or a subset of what the entire area of intelligent automation or hyper automation actually covers. So in a typical company, you have many different systems of records, whether they are CRM systems, policy administration systems, claim systems, billing systems, IT service management systems, a plethora of enterprise systems of records, and then you have end customers that usually communicate with the company and work with a variety of workflows that are typically served through knowledge workers, right? And these are um, people that work in the call centers. These could be in the back office. These are specialists. These are claims agents. So a lot of these end-to-end customer engagement that eventually gets to sit in the system of record is served through these knowledge workers. They're usually manual. It leads to fairly expensive engagements, often leads to frictionful experiences with customers, error prone, and leads to fairly long processing times. And so when you have a system like this, you have an opportunity to introduce a system of engagement, and that's exactly what Ushr is all about. So we are basically automated two-way system of engagement that works with customers on the one end and works alongside these systems of record to basically reduce the operating expenses that go into managing all of the customer engagements and customer journeys. So the way we address this is through a combination of what we call conversational AI on the one end, which is basically our ability to interact and engage with customers over a broad set of channels, whether it is text messaging on a mobile device, whether it is handling emails coming in, whether it is engaging with customers on the website through chatbots, or even voice calls coming in. We can apply our automated AI capabilities to engage with those constituents and drive conversations. And the same linguistic capability that we have, our ability to understand language, can be extended to apply it to what we call process automation, which is think about knowledge workers looking at documents, opening up emails, looking for specific pieces of information, whether it is a member number or a date of birth or a social security number. So these are all things that a typical knowledge worker engages in for the purpose of intake, for the purpose of handling a claim, for the purpose of servicing a customer support request. All of these can be automated through the process automation by working alongside those existing systems of records and extracting data, classifying information, and moving information into those record keeping systems. And by combining these two things, we get a very powerful customer focused intelligent automation platform. And that's what Ushr is all about. Here is a quick example of how customers deploy this. This is one of our European customers called Irish Life. And the problem they were facing with was handling a huge volume of incoming emails into a centralized mailbox that was manually being triaged. It would take them about 27 hours to handle those incoming requests, not to mention the cost of delivering that particular service. We took that, automated that. 80% of the incoming emails now at Irish Life corporate business are completely handled through Ushr, and we're able to deliver that end-to-end response back to the customer in under 6 seconds. and we eliminated about 85% of the cost from that particular scenario. And these are quick wins. These don't require months to deploy. These are days and weeks to deploy and train the models and get the solution up and running. That's one example. And so the idea here is, I was talking about the quick time to deploy. So the goal here is to enable enterprises to very quickly deploy these solutions without having to deploy data science engineers or without having to tweak machine learning models. And so providing tools to enable them to deploy this is fundamentally critical. And so this email triage is a fairly big relevant problem across the industry, whether it is a financial services company or an insurance company or a bank or even a logistics company. These are all fairly repeatable problems that we are seeing. Another example of a customer journey that we have automated is for claims, where outbound claims interactions with people who are going on short-term disability leaves, for example, like a new mom who is taking 8-10 weeks off, or someone going on a planned surgery, right? So there's a lot of back and forth that happens between the benefits company or the insurance company and the claimant. And so this is one such example where we took outbound interactions from the business to the end customer that were largely outbound phone calls. It would take them on an average of 3 weeks to get to the claimant because nobody wants to answer the phones these days. And an average of 6 attempts to reach the claimant. We took that, automated about 45% of that, and reduced the time to get the claims information in under an hour. So that was phenomenal. 90% of claimants are texting back within the first hour and completing the entire end-to-end claim journey. Huge return on investment again. Um, Again, so these are ways where we take the customer engagement and help automate. And this does not mean that you have to deploy massive amounts of IT resources. So this is a platform that we have created that allows business teams to deploy a low code or a no code system to orchestrate the processes as well as orchestrate the customer conversations. Completely deployed in the cloud. So we were a born in the cloud platform, and it allows businesses to take best of breed AI and machine learning and linguistics capabilities and deliver that for specific use cases over a broad set of journeys. And we took a platform approach to this. So you can start with a customer journey that makes sense for you, whether it is applying conversational AI or classify information or extract data from various different sources, and have the ability to integrate into your legacy, proprietary systems of records or standard platforms like Salesforce or ServiceNow. So this is what makes our platform fairly robust and applicable to a large set of customer journeys. And these are some of the journeys that we have already deployed with our customers.
So you have about 1 minute left.
Yeah, wrapping up, I think our key differentiation is that the time to value with our solution is fairly quick. It doesn't require months to realize value. We do a typical 60-day POC where you have a line of sight to the value, and we take a consultative approach to enable this hyper automation or intelligent automation as it applies to customer journeys.
Thank you very much, Simha. If you have time for one question, we'll go ahead and ask that. So you mentioned working with Irish Life and Unum in insurance. What are the use cases you see for financial institutions?
Intake and document intake is a fairly big use case that we have served many companies, whether it is allowing end customers to securely upload documents when they are applying for loan applications or mortgages or any sort of an application, right? So that's a fairly typical use case. Even getting authorization for e-sign, it may seem like a simple scenario, but there's so much friction in getting customers to actually authorize you. So allowing that through a conversational interface where someone gets a text message and they engage with that entire workflow and are able to very quickly authorize that specific request that the business is looking for. Those are quick wins.
Right. And I think it's an amazing capability. Thank you, Simo.
Thanks, Sean.